Bestsellers unveiled at NK News Shop. Step out in style with our top-selling apparel from the NK News Shop. Fly high with the Air Cordial T-shirt, celebrating DPRK's golden era of aviation in vintage airline chic. Explore the stars with our Nada hoodie, inspired by North Korea's answer to NASA. Or toast to tradition with our Taedonggang beer T-shirt, capturing the essence of North Korea's renowned brew. Each design is a conversation starter. Find yours at shop.nknews.org. Again, that's shop.nknews.org. Hello listeners and welcome to the NK News Podcast. I'm your host, Jacco Zwetsloot, and it is Tuesday the 18th of November 2025. Here in Seoul we already have sub-zero temperatures, so winter is definitely on the way, and I'm joined here in the studio by Anton Sokolin. Anton, welcome back on the show.
Hey Jacco, how are you? I'm
fantastic, thank you. We have so many stories to go through. I want to start with one that's already a week old. In fact, it's almost 2 weeks old, but it's one that I think it's a good and important and interesting story. It comes up once a year, and that's the Autumn Pyongyang International Trade Fair. It happened early in November. A lot of companies in the past that were there weren't there, but who was there this time?
All right, yeah, so indeed, this trade fair happens once a year, but it has also its spring edition. We should not forget about that. This one ran actually from October 27th to October 31st. Well, we can say late October.
APEC week.
Right, yeah, and well, this one was a little bit different from the previous ones because, as you recall, the spring edition, they actually didn't allow any foreign exhibitors to enter the event. So
citing health reasons?
I don't remember exactly what happened, but there were definitely some restrictions. But what's important here is that actually some foreign products were displayed during the spring edition, by Korean staff of those companies or diplomatic staff. So the diplomats participated. But now getting back to the fall edition. So this one is a bit different because if you compare it with the one that happened last year, actually this one was smaller in size in terms of the number of participants. So if, for example, last year just one Russian region, the Primorsky Krai, the one that's bordering North Korea, sent several dozen exhibitors, this time the number of participants shrunk significantly, and it was actually just about like I want to say just less than 10, but maybe around 12, because we didn't get the full list of participants. No one has published it, of course, and all we know is just from sporadic reports coming in and out from government sources or government-affiliated export promotion centers, those that organize these mission trips. And
did you see any video footage from the trade fair?
Yes, there was some limited video footage because the KCNA, for example, aired something. So there was actually, we could get a few, sneak peeks into what was happening.
Imagine if you're walking through, I'm guessing it's not military stuff. So what kind of things are you seeing?
It's consumer products. Yeah. It's mostly consumer products, and the Russian companies that came from from Primorsky Krai this time, it was just 7 companies, maybe a bit more. I don't know the exact number. It's a bit hard to ascertain that. But the fact remains, they mostly are from the consumer sector. They were offering grain, cookies, some confectionery. So it's mostly something.
So some food items.
Some food items. That's something that actually could find some appeal among North Koreans because, well, food concerns have been persistent for many years now. They appear to be gone, but nevertheless, the more choice, the better, right? And Primorsky Krai this time was not the only region that actually presented its goods. There were other exhibitors from Oh yeah, the one I forgot from Primorsky Ryan, notable one. It's the producer of sausages, Ratimir. It's a really big brand in the Far East. Like I'm from the Far East, so I know. I grew growing up, I ate
Eating these sausages.
the sausages, all kinds of meat products basically, and sausages are one type, and they exhibited there. They said according to them, their stall was absolutely popular among North Koreans, and everyone just.
Were they giving away free samples?
I don't know. Maybe that's how you usually. But that's how you usually promote. Right? You're not bringing your sausages to
just to look at
foreign, and then you just leave them there or bring them home, but they go bad. I don't know how it works.
Any electronics goods?
I saw some electronics, but I don't think it was by the Russians. It's probably the Chinese companies, because there was a quite a fair share of Chinese companies and other foreign companies. What was interesting is that these Russian companies from Primorsky Krai, they in the press release of their regional export promotion center, they mentioned that they had B2B business-to-business meetings with other clients. Among those were actually some representatives of the Swiss pharmaceutical sector, and we still haven't learned what that Swiss pharma company was presented there. So it's still a mystery, but the fact remains that seems like there was some I would say European presence.
Interesting.
There. Yeah. Apart from the Europeans, there were also Mongolians. We have seen a booth operated by a Mongolian company. I couldn't figure out exactly what the products was, but most likely it was wool. Something related to garments,
right?
And the other one was from Thailand. This is an obscure company, so it looks like they are offering some consumer products like maybe some milk, some teas and stuff. So groceries. But it's very hard to find this company's profile in the internet, and probably they don't have much online presence, so it was a bit complicated. The other Russian region was from Siberia, just as I mentioned before. Those were actually a bit more interesting because some of them are in the electronics business. So there was this one company called Micron. It produces electronic equipment, so they provide equipment and devices for telecommunication services, different kinds of mobile gear, radar systems. So that could be of
relevant to the military.
Very, very relevant.
Right.
And of course, there was this Tomsk tool factory. I am not sure. I've never heard of them before, but as far as I understand, metal cutting tools. That's what they do. So it's like drills. I know all those kind of razors. That's kind of their thing. And apart from them, we also saw this Tomsk Special Economic Zone, which is interesting because it's a big cluster that hosts the other companies, right? So you can enter there and get some tax breaks and etc. and develop your business. And of course, also consumer products like we had a flour producer, we had health products manufacturer, and a mill. So it's actually poultry factory, so they're like a chicken factory.
Right.
So all those products, all in all, are very relevant to North Korea, and the Russian companies are pretty much right now getting access to the market that not many companies ever tapped into before.
Well, that's very interesting. Let's move on. I look forward to hearing more about the spring fair when it comes up next year. Let's talk about Kim Jong Un received an award from Vladimir Putin, and it's an award that, to be honest, in the post-Soviet Russia, I was surprised to hear still exists.
All right, not from Vladimir Putin.
Oh, I'm sorry.
From the Russian Communist Party. But it's okay. The Russian Communists, right? So the Russian Communist Party, it's basically the successor to the CPSU, right? The Communist Party of the Soviet Union.
Right. Still exists.
Still exists, and in the 90s, I must remind our listeners, some, of course, will know that, but those who are not familiar with Russian history, the leader of CPRF, Gennady Zyuganov, he almost actually beat Yeltsin and almost became president, and that would have put Russia on a totally different course, right? It would be the continuation of socialism, basically, and he lost by very, very, very slim margin. So let's not forget that he was hugely popular. Right now, ask any expert and they'll tell you that pretty much the CPRF, the Communist Party of the Russian Federation, is pretty much a relic. It's outdated, it's old. They try to, of course, attract a lot of young people, but right now they are as you know, in Russia, all the opposition parties, the Communist Party, the Liberal Democratic Party that exists too, Adjust Russia, they are sort of like socialist party. They are all on the same page with the ruling party, United Russia. So there is no much organized opposition. They are pretty much in sync with everything that United Russia says. So. And this time, that's why it became interesting that they decided to give away this Lenin Prize.
Not John Lennon, but Vladimir Ilyich Lenin.
There we go. The Lenin, the Vladimir Lenin Ulyanov. So the prize itself used to be a very prestigious award during the Soviet Union. In the Soviet Union, and it was issued intermittently. So in the beginning, before Stalin completely took over, that was like the main for outstanding achievement, the main prize for outstanding achievements in arts, architecture, I don't know, science, of course. So that was the prize. But then Stalin took over, and it became the Stalin Prize. So they started giving out that one. It was very prestigious, one of the probably the most prestigious in the civilian sector, right? And but when after Nikita Khrushchev, the Stalin's successor, came in and lambasted him in his secret speech, and of course the cult of personality, everything was denounced, they reestablished the Lenin Prize. And it was not issued annually, as far as I understand. It was issued biannually or something like that.
Okay, but why did Kim Jong Un get one this time?
And now he got it for listen. This background is actually interesting.
Okay.
And the last time the government officially awarded the Lenin Prize to anyone was in 1991, just when the Soviet Union collapsed.
Wow.
Right. So since then, there was no such award. It's not a state level award. Russia does not have that.
Right.
If you remember a few months ago, Steve Witkoff, right, the one who's in charge with with negotiations with Russia, there was this news that Putin gave him the Order of Lenin to give to this poor U.S. soldier who participated in the combat on the Russian side.
Oh boy.
Well, the Order of Lenin doesn't exist even, and
it's a made up.
It used to be a big deal, but Russia no longer has that. And it turned out it was just the Medal of Courage, Medal of Valor. It was, but the foreign media talked about it. Nevertheless, getting back to the Lenin Prize.
Yes.
So it's not an award. And just the Communist Party of Russia just revived it in 2017, 2018. And they started, it's like just their token of appreciation for foreign leaders, dignitaries, someone who has contributed to the socialist cause. And with this time, Kim Jong Un is on the list. And he got it for his outstanding contributions to socialist construction and for his guts to stand up against imperialist aggression by supporting Russia's invasion of Ukraine. So we can deduce that by sending his troops to Russia, he basically helped Russia stand up against this, united West and the united imperialist aggression, because that's how the Kremlin explains the war, that it's not just against Ukraine. The Kremlin is not waging a war against Ukrainian people. It's about the collective West.
Right, and those Ukrainian Nazis.
Of course, the Nazism that are supported by the West. That's their official line. And, he got this prize. Of course, experts say that it's not really about this Communist Party of Russia really appreciating Kim Jong Un that much. It's more of a thing that to get eyeballs because they are being slowly forgotten,
right? And
that's the way to stay relevant, stay in the headlines, right? But at the same time, there is also maybe not so obvious, but some kind of advantages that it can reap because it kind of puts them in sync, ideologically in sync with North Korea, because it's about mutual hatred of Nikita Khrushchev, because of whom the whole revisionism started.
Right. Those revisionists.
And North Korea was anti-revisionism, right? So, and they are in favor of Stalin. So if you if you take a look at this from this perspective, then it kind of makes sense. And plus, of course, this Communist Party of Russia, they recently have lots of exchanges with North Korea. So they one of their key members, Kazbek Taisayev, he's in charge of this interparliamentary friendship group with North Korea. They often go to the North Korean embassy. They often go to North Korea and maintain ties. And it's just in line with that.
All right, so in our remaining couple of minutes, let's continue on with the talk about the war. I understand that North Korea has a number of people now, first of all, working on mine sweeping, and second of all, making drones in Russian factories?
Yeah, that's true. There is several reports. One report is that, that's the official one, that North Korean demining specialists, they have entered the Kursk region and they have begun their demining operations.
Mm-hmm. Now, I hope for the sake of these North Korean soldiers that they're not doing it via the old traditional method. They're using some sort of robots or something.
For sure. So before entering the actual territory, the area, they were trained by Russian instructors at Russian training grounds to use not only just metal detectors, but also how to, for example, counter incoming drones because that's a concern, right? While you're demining an area, if a drone comes in, it can actually ruin everything and hurt you badly.
Which area is this in, by the way? Is this in Kursk, in part of Russia, where the Ukrainian incursion occurred last year?
I don't know where the training grounds are.
But the actual...
But the demining, of course, in the Kursk region. Kursk region, adjacent to the border. Yeah. That's exactly where the Ukrainian incursion happened. And as the Russian official media and the military media explain, when Ukrainian forces were retreating, they left lots of explosives, sometimes even planted, or as they claim, are hidden in toys and everyday items, right? So for regular residents to return back to those areas, it's necessary to demine the territory, and the North Koreans are helping with that. Of course, they use a whole variety of new equipment, something probably totally new for them. It's these remotely controlled robots, right? That
it's like a small bulldozer.
It's kind of like a bulldozer, right? They just go through the field and sweep through it, and if there is an explosive, it explodes, but it doesn't hurt anyone because it's safe. You can control it from a safe distance. So they learned that, and I suppose it's a good experience because they also get all the Russian-issued protective suits.
Right. Special boots in case of toe cutter mines?
Of course. Because there's so many what we call like flower petal infantry mines. They look like tiny petals, and if you step on that, you could lose your leg up to your ankle.
Wow.
So it's not gonna kill you.
No,
but it's a lot. Yeah. So of course that is very important, and this experience is going to be also hugely helpful for them. I haven't heard before about North Korean deminers as a force or as a special North Korean specialty.
But they've not been in the parades, for example.
Exactly, but turns out it's a thing, and Russia is using them. Of course, we
about
are seeing
1,000 of them.
Yes, it's 1,000, and of course there is a 5,000 construction workers, but it's very hard to say who's who exactly. So I would lump them up all together. Probably it's just
they're all military.
It's all military. It's not civilians.
Okay.
And speaking about the North Korean contingent generally, right? We have seen a huge uptick in North Korean entries, right, over the past few quarters, and then suddenly the Russian government stopped publishing this data. So there is no longer migration data on North Korean entries into Russia.
But tell us finally about these drone workers at the factory.
But now we are seeing reports from Kyiv, coming out from Kyiv, saying that about 12,000 North Korean workers.
That's a lot.
And as far as I understand, it's not just workers, like it's actual specialists, like trained specialists who will be sent to Russia, to Russia's region called Tatarstan. It's where the Alabuga economic zone is, and that is home to this huge Shahed/Giran drone manufacturing facilities. They produce like thousands of them per month. It's very cheap, expendable drones that Russia uses in what is called swarm attacks. So just you overwhelm your enemy's defenses by launching so many of them, and the air defenses fail, and definitely it's gonna cause certain damage on the ground. This report followed a similar development when actually Kyiv said that Russia is helping North Korea set up the domestic production lines of these particular drones. And that is, of course, of big security concern for us, because 2022, 5 drones flying over Yonsan, the president's a presidential residence. And if North Korea gets access to even more cheaper and expendable drones, that is, of course, of concern.
Or at least the technology, right? Because effectively it's a technology exchange if you've got a bunch of North Korean specialists working in that factory.
For sure.
They're bringing that home. Yeah, wow. Okay, well, that's a lot of stories you've taken us through, but very interesting. Thank you very much, Anton Sokolin. We'll see you again very soon.
Yeah, Jacco, have a good day.
Navigating the dynamics of the Korean Peninsula requires more than just information. It demands insight. Korea Risk Group offers strategic consulting that cuts through the noise. Our experts provide in-depth analysis, risk assessments, and bespoke reports, all tailored to your specific needs. Whether you're exploring new opportunities or managing existing challenges, our insights can be your compass. To learn more about how we can help you make informed, strategic decisions, visit korearisk.com/solutions today. Ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of our podcast episode for today. Our thanks go to Brian Betts and Alana Hill for facilitating this episode, and to our post-recording producer genius Gabby Magnuson, who cuts out all the extraneous noises, awkward silences, bodily functions, and fixes the audio levels. Thank you, and listen again next time.